Buckle up, everyone, because we are diving deep into a world where fantasy sports collides with magic and high-stakes competition.
Sounds intense.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. We're talking about the FA31000.
The FA31000?
Yeah, it's a race. Well, it's more than a race. Think FairyFrens clans battling it out on this cosmic energy grid. They call it the Ore Grid.
Like Formula One, but with magic.
Exactly. It's like Formula One meets those Red Bull Air races, but with a magical twist.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What kind of sources do we have on this?
We've got blueprints for the vehicles, intel on the FairyFrens clans, and even some info on Panowyn, the sorceress who's causing all this chaos. Today we're going to break down the rules, the cosmic significance of the Ore Grid, and the strategies each clan uses to try to win.
All right, let's do it.
So tell me, what makes this FA31000 so different from, your average magical competition?
Well, it's not just about winning a race. It's tied to the fate of FLS.
ALS.
The planet where all this takes place. It's divided into two realms, Orderin and Lumion.
Okay, and what's the difference?
Orderin is all about science and technology. They have no idea magic even exists.
Seriously?
Yeah, totally oblivious. Then you have Lumion, which is where the FairyFrens live. It's a world brimming with magic.
Wow, so there's this whole hidden magical world existing right alongside a world that's essentially like our own.
Exactly.
That's a recipe for disaster if those two ever meet. But for now, let's get back to the race. You mentioned the Ore Grid. What's so special about it?
It's more than just a racetrack. It's a network of ley lines that power all the magic in Lumion.
So it's like a cosmic energy grid.
Yeah, exactly. It influences time, space, even the stability of the whole planet.
Hold on, are you saying that this race could actually affect the fate of Laius?
The stakes are incredibly high.
Okay, this just got real. Now, we can't forget about Panowyn, right? The sorceress you mentioned earlier.
Right. Panowyn is trying to disrupt the balance between Order and Lumion. She wants to create chaos, maybe even merge the two realms together.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Not good at all. And the FA31000, it's right in the middle of this power struggle. Each clan wants control of the Ore Grid, enough power to stop Panowyn.
So we've got magical racers on this cosmic energy grid, a sorceress trying to reshape reality, and two worlds on a collision course. I'm hooked. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of each clan, let's talk about the race itself. How does it all work? Rules, scoring, objectives, the basics.
So the clan leaders are crucial. They make the big decisions.
They're like the coaches.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the individual racers who are the real stars. They're the ones pushing the limits of their magic and technology.
So teamwork and individual skill. Interesting dynamic. But how do they actually score points? Is it all about speed?
Speed is part of it, sure, but they also get points for navigating the Ore Grid, using their magic strategically, and completing challenges along the way.
Wait, challenges? Like what?
Deciphering codes, solving riddles, even facing magical creatures. Think of it like an obstacle course, but with way more magic.
So it's a mental game, too. I like it.
It's not just about crossing the finish line first.
Makes sense.
But don't forget, there are rules. The judges are really strict. Any sabotage or cheating.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, penalties. Big ones.
So it's high stakes, high pressure, but also designed to be a spectacle.
Absolutely.
All right, so the SA31000 is shaping up to be the ultimate magical sporting event. But what about these racers? We know they can become superstars, but how does that actually work?
The races are broadcast all over Lumion, and even some people in Orderin have figured out ways to watch.
Really? Without knowing magic exists? That's impressive.
Yeah, technology and magic sometimes find a way to meet.
Interesting.
So the top racers, they become icons, famous in both worlds.
Wow. Okay, now I really want to hear about the clans. They're all fighting for control of the Ore Grid, each with their own strengths and strategies. What makes them tick? How do they approach the race?
Each clan represents a different part of Lumion's magic. They each have their own history, traditions, and philosophies. It's really fascinating.
So it's more than just a competition. It's a clash of cultures, a battle of ideologies, all played out on this racetrack. I can't wait to dig into each clan's specifics, but I think we'll save that for the next part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to our deep dive, into the FA31000. It's amazing how this race manages to capture both the thrill of the competition and those really important themes of unity and responsibility.
Right.
Last time we ended with a question. If you were a FairyFrens racer, what kind of magic would you use and which clan would you choose?
Yeah, it really gets you thinking about what makes this competition so compelling.
Definitely.
It's a tough choice, though. Each clan's got its own appeal.
They do.
But before we, get lost in our fantasy racing dreams, I want to dig a little deeper into the world of the FA31000.
Sure.
We've talked about the rules and the high stakes, but now I want to get up close and personal with the magical racers themselves.
Okay.
What sets them apart? How do they become superstars?
It's a mix of raw talent, magical prowess, strategic thinking, and a whole lot of showmanship.
They're not just athletes.
No, they're performers, really pushing those boundaries of magic and technology.
So they got to wow the crowd, too. It's not just about speed and agility.
Absolutely. Don't forget these races are broadcast across all of Lumion.
Right, right.
And even some brave souls in Orderin have found ways to tap into those magical transmissions.
Wow. So the impact of the race goes way beyond Lumi.
Yeah. The best racers, they become cultural icons.
I could see that.
Famous in both worlds. It's incredible.
Okay, now I'm really curious about the vehicles these FairyFrens race in.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of fantastical contraptions are we talking about here?
Picture this. Cutting-edge engineering fused with ancient enchantments.
Ooh.
Some vehicles look like sleek, futuristic race cars, powered by crystals that channel the energy of the ley lines. Others are more organic, resembling mythical creatures.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Mythical creatures? Like what, dragons?
Dragons, griffins, you name it. They soar through the air with grace and power.
So we've got everything from high-tech speedsters to magical beasts. I mean, visually, that alone is just incredible. But it's not just about aesthetics, right?
Of course not. The design of the vehicles, it plays a crucial role in how the race unfolds.
Right, right.
For example, the Daughters of the West, with their mastery of illusion, they often favor vehicles that can distort light, making them hard to track.
Oh, that makes sense.
It'd be like racing against a phantom.
Exactly. And the Willow Warriors, the
Yeah.
protectors of the ore grid. So I'm guessing their vehicles are built for, like, durability.
Exactly. Their vehicles are often made from the wood of the great tree itself.
The great tree.
Yeah. It's infused with enchantments that make them super sturdy and resistant to magical attacks.
So we're talking like solid fortress-like vehicles.
Kinda, yeah. The less about speed and more about holding their ground and protecting their teammates.
Okay, so you've got these solid, almost fortress-like vehicles going up against those flashy, illusion-weaving speedsters.
Exactly.
What about the Fairy Guard? We know they value loyalty and protection.
Their vehicles are designed for coordinated movements.
Ah, I see.
They fly in formation, protecting Queen Fae, supporting each other in combat.
It's like they're a single unit,
Yeah, they might not be the fastest or the most agile.
but their strength lies in their teamwork.
Their dedication, exactly.
Okay, this is fascinating. Each clan's philosophy is literally built into their vehicle designs. Now, what about the Mystic Maidens? They're all about water magic, right?
Right.
So are their vehicles like magical submarines, or do they take to the skies like the others?
Think of vehicles that can adapt to the ore grid's constantly changing energy currents.
Okay.
Like water, always flowing, always changing. One moment their vehicle might resemble a sleek dolphin, the next a powerful shark.
Transforming mid-race.
Exactly. And their mastery of water magic, it lets them actually manipulate the ore grid itself.
Wait, so they can alter the racetrack? That's next level.
Yeah. Imagine whirlpools trapping opponents or waves propelling the Maidens forward.
So they're not just racing against each other, they're shaping the very environment they're competing in.
Exactly. The Mystic Maidens are unpredictable, always ready to use any situation to their advantage.
So we've got vehicles transforming midair, racers shifting forms, and a racetrack that's constantly changing.
And that's not all. Don't forget, many of these racers, no matter the clan, they can shapeshift themselves.
Whoa. Okay, this is getting seriously mind-blowing. But with all this talk about magic and fantastical creatures, I'm curious, where does someone like Jon Lennox fit into all of this?
And he's a physics student, right? All about logic and reason.
Right. And suddenly he finds himself surrounded by, well, all of this.
It's quite the contrast.
Yeah. I mean, imagine his shock when he sees a vehicle turn into a giant, fire-breathing dragon.
I bet he had to question everything he thought he knew about the world.
For sure. But I have a feeling there's more to his story than just culture shock, right?
You're right.
Does he play a bigger role in all of this?
Our sources seem to suggest that Jon might actually hold the key to understanding the corrupted ore grid.
Really?
His knowledge of physics, combined with, well, what he's learning about Lumen the magic, it could be crucial to repairing the damage that Panowyn has done.
Wow. So he's not just a spectator, he's a potential game changer. The skeptic turned savior, that's a great story.
It is.
Okay, so before we get into the specifics of Jon's journey and the intricacies of each clan, I think it's important to step back and consider the bigger picture, the themes that the FA31000 explores.
Okay.
What do you think?
One of the most fascinating things about this race is how it highlights the tension between individual ambition and collective responsibility.
Right, so you've got these racers pushing themselves to their limits, driven by the desire to win, to achieve glory.
Exactly.
But at the same time, they're also fighting to protect their world, to keep Orderin and Lumion separate.
It's a constant balancing act.
So it's not just about winning. They have to understand that their actions have consequences.
Yeah, the fate of an entire planet rests on their shoulders.
It's not just a game. It's a reflection of life itself, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes the FA31000 such a powerful story. It's about finding that balance between personal goals and the greater good. It's about unity and collaboration in the face of these overwhelming challenges. And honestly, it's a message that resonates far beyond the world of LES.
It is. It's a reminder that even in the midst of intense competition, there's always room for cooperation and understanding.
Absolutely.
But let's bring it back to the heart of the FA31000, the clans. Each one has a unique connection to the Orcrit and a distinct approach to the race. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore the specifics of each clan. Welcome back to our deep dive, everyone. We've covered a lot of ground, the rules, the stakes, those incredible vehicles, and the superstar racers.
Right.
But now it's time to, really focus on the heart of this whole competition, the FairyFrens clans themselves.
Yeah, each clan brings something different to the Orgrid. Their magic, their strategies, even their philosophies.
Right.
What's really cool is how each clan embodies a different aspect of Lumien's energy. They're not just teams, competing for a win. They're reflections of this whole hidden world's history and traditions.
Okay, so let's break it down clan by clan.
Okay.
We've got intel on each group, but I want to hear your take on what makes them tick,
Sure.
Let's start with the Daughters of the Mist.
Okay.
They're shrouded in secrecy, masters of illusion, and they have this, deep connection to the ley lines. What kind of strategies do they bring to the FA31000?
Imagine a racer who can make their vehicle vanish into thin air 1 minute, then reappear as a solid machine the next.
Whoa.
The Daughters of the Mist, they're masters of deception. They blend in with the Orgrid's energy, making them incredibly difficult to track.
So they're the ultimate wild cards. They can disappear, reappear, use their illusions to, outsmart their opponents.
Yeah, and it's not just tricks. Our sources suggest they have this intuitive sense of the Orgrid's energy flow.
Oh, interesting.
They can anticipate the shifts in energy, use it to their advantage, boosting their speed, outmaneuvering opponents. It's like they're dancing with the Orgrid, predicting its every move.
Okay, I'm getting serious mystical vibes from these Daughters of the Mist. They're definitely not a clan you want to underestimate.
Nope.
Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about the Willow Warriors.
Right.
They're the guardians of the Great Tree, known for their strength and, really strategic thinking. How would you describe their racing style?
If the Daughters of the Mist are about fluidity and adaptation, the Willow Warriors are all about resilience, Calculated maneuvers. They get their power from the Great Tree, the heart of Lumien's magic.
Right.
And their approach to the rest reflects that. They're in it for the long haul, focused on protecting the Orgrid above all else.
So they're the ones who can, take a hit, weather the storm, and come out on top through, pure determination.
Oh, they're more than that. They're masters of defensive magic, able to, create shields, deflect attacks, even manipulate the terrain to slow down their opponents.
That's impressive.
Their vehicles, they're often made from the wood of the Great Tree.
Ah, that makes sense.
Super durable, resistant to damage.
Okay, so I bet they're the ones everyone underestimates at their own peril.
Definitely.
Now let's move on to the Fairy Guard. They're fiercely loyal to Queen Fae. They have this protective aura about them.
Mm-hmm.
How does that loyalty and protection play into their racing style?
They're all about teamwork. They race as a unit,
Yeah.
Their movements are synchronized. Their focus is unwavering. They're not really concerned with individual glory. They're there to support each other, protect Queen Fae, and, make sure the competition stays fair.
They're like the ultimate wingmen, always watching each other's backs, putting the needs of the team above their own.
Right.
I bet they're the ones you want on your side when things get tough.
For sure.
But we can't forget about the wild cards, the Mystic Maidens.
Oh.
All about water magic, unpredictable tactics.
They can adapt to any situation.
What kind of spectacle do they bring to the Orgrid?
Picture this. Vehicles that flow and change like water. One moment, they look like sleeked dolphins. The next, powerful sharks.
Whoa, so they're actually transforming mid-race.
Exactly. And because they're so good with water magic, they can control the currents of the Orgrid itself.
Seriously. So they can, create whirlpools and waves?
Yeah, even change the track itself to, to get an edge.
Okay, now I'm picturing a race with vehicles leaping out of lagoons, transforming in midair, maybe even, battling giant sea monsters.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah, it's epic. It's they're not just racing, they're putting on a show, a display of magic and ingenuity.
The Mystic Maidens, they love to push boundaries, keep their opponents guessing.
This is incredible. With all these different clans and strategies and magic, the FA31000 it's a truly captivating competition. But let's not lose sight of the stakes.
Right.
This isn't just a game. It's a battle for the fate of Ilias.
A world teetering between two very different realities.
And that's where Jon Lennox comes in, right? Our skeptical physics student. He's the outsider, the voice of reason in a world that's, full of magic.
But, as we've seen, even the most skeptical minds can be opened up to the wonders of the unknown.
Yeah, I can only imagine the roller coaster of emotions he must be going through, questioning everything he thought he knew. But I get the feeling that John's journey is about more than just adjusting to a new world. Our sources hint that he might play a bigger role in all of this.
You're right. It seems his understanding of physics, coupled with his, gripping appreciation for Lumien's magic, it could be the key to understanding the corrupted ore grid and finding a way to fix it.
Wow, so he could be the bridge between Order and Illuminen.
He could help those two worlds find a way to exist together.
That's a really powerful idea, the skeptic turned savior. It's a story that really speaks to the power of keeping an open mind, that even when things seem impossible, we can find a way to come together and create a better future.
It's what makes the FA31000 more than just a magical race. It's a story about finding balance.
Between competition and cooperation.
Yeah, and about the possibility of finding common ground even when cultures clash. It's a story that challenges how we see the world, pushes the limits of our imagination. And, it reminds us that even in the most fantastical worlds, the most important battles are the ones we fight for unity, understanding, and, well, for the preservation of our shared reality.
Well said. And with that, our deep dive into the FA31000 comes to an end. We've explored the rules, the stakes, the vehicles, and the racers.
We've delved into the magic of the ore grid, the clans, and even the unexpected journey of a physics student thrust into a world of magic and wonder.
But this is just the beginning, right?
Oh, yeah. The story of the FA31000, it keeps going. New challenges, new alliances, new betrayals. The fate of the EYS is still hanging in the balance, and what happens in this competition could have effects that ripple across both realms.
So as we leave you today, we encourage you to keep thinking about the questions we've raised. Imagine yourself in this world of magic and speed and clan wars. What kind of racer would you be? What choices would you make? And most importantly, what kind of future would you fight for? Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the spirit of the FA31000 alive.